championship, and they beat us in the semifinals of that Sal Puentes out in Rio Rancho, and a couple good games, and then that doubleheader was nice to come out on top with 2 wins there.
Well, I'll tell you, Jason and myself, we were looking. Hey, it's here, the state tournament. I know you take 1 week at a time, but I was just like, it's coming up in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, and this season especially is just kind of flown by. It was like, we played a few games and got ready for that trip out to Arizona, and then, we were all excited about that. And I thought after that it might slow down, but that trip seems like it was 2 weeks ago. So the season, as it usually does, flies by, but especially this one seems to be going faster.
Well, I tell you, it's exciting. The elements of the weather have been really kind of cold and hot, and this year's been a fluctuation of weather.
Yeah, we were in Farmington this last weekend, and we got spit on. But come to find out, it was a lot worse down here. So it looks like, we might have dodged a little bit of weather because it turned out to be a pretty nice day up in Farmington. But yeah, it was the whole season's kind of been a bit of a roller coaster, in terms of weather. I thought we had one there in late March and early April where I thought we had broken the string, but then, yeah, that spring New Mexico weather will always raise its ugly head at times.
We've played a few rounds of golf this summer, and I could tell you're excited about your team. We really didn't talk. We don't talk much about. I stay away from that with you, but I could feel that you just felt that this is going to be a special team, and talk about why this team is special. You've had some great teams, but why is this team special?
Yeah, this one's going to rank up there as one of our better ones. We've had some obviously really good offensive teams in the past, or been a couple of years where we had some pretty good arms, but this year is really kind of feels like we've got a good combination of everything. Is on the mound we got 3 excellent arms that are higher velocity than what we're used to having as a whole. We've had one guy here and there that can run it up there, but our velocity is pretty good, and then our 4th arm right now is Trevor Johnson, and he's a low to mid 80s guy with 3 pitches, and so our pitching depth and the quality of our depth is really good, and then offensively we've been able to swing the bat. I really like this lineup 1 through 9. I think there's a whole bunch of tough outs in that lineup. And then defensively, which is something we kind of always pride ourselves on, has been really good this year too. So, the 3 phases of the game, I think we're in really good shape. And you still got to play them, but I like where this team is. And the other thing about this group is, my youngest son is a senior this year, Gehrig, and there's 5, 6, 7 guys that have been on this team that have played together quite a bit since they were 8, 9 years old. So that chemistry has been really good. They've been very good leaders with the juniors and the sophomores, and so chemistry wise, it's another good positive aspect of our club.
Expectations this year. You when you came into the season, I knew. Because your golf swing was so easy, and you weren't thinking about baseball this summer. So and you didn't turn me down any time we went and played. I felt that there was a little bit, but no, on the serious side of this team seemed to accept your expectations. Is that a good way to say that?
Yeah, I think going into the year,
or they put their own expectations on themselves.
I think that's part of it. Yeah, they kind of want to establish their place in La Cueva baseball history, and going into the year, I think people thought we were going to be good, and there's a lot of good teams out there, obviously, and but for these guys kind of to take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and really run out and done a good job and have played well, and every game, we talk about every game is the most important, mainly because it's just the next game on the schedule, and so they've taken every opportunity to play serious, and haven't looked past anybody, and very good at the task at hand. And so, yeah, so those expectations I think we put on ourselves, and we kind of, as you know, the program goes, that's a high expectation every year is to be playing for a championship.
Well, we're going to go to the Evergard roofing and solar top 10 plays of the week and kind of see what happened over the last week and come back and talk more of the Cleveland baseball.
There's the throw. Got him. Been caught stealing.
Swings at it. That one grounds to the second baseman. Throw to first. It's going to be in time for the first out.
Stalwart of the Valencia Jaguars. Hoppler swings the first one he sees. It's going to be skied foul. This one's probably going into the Valencia dugout. Oh, what a catch! My goodness. Lucas Apodaca, or pardon me, Nick Rodriguez.
Turns on that one. That one's nailed and say good night now. Sagoda. Touch 'em all. Martinez laces that one right into center field. That'll bring in one. Here comes the runner. Got him.
Hit down into center field. That's got some track on it, and that's going to hit the fence. That's going to bring in Pineda. Martinez rounding third. He will also score, so it's an RBI double for Braden Reynolds. Martinez and Pineda score, makes the score 2-0 in the bottom of the first. The Cueva leads.
Mira. That one's golfed. That's going to be trouble. It's over the fence. Bryson Martinez with a 2-run dinga.
Puts this one out to right field. Salas will catch it in the air, and now we've got a race to third. Who's going to win it? And the slide is not in time. Coach Fuentes not going to love it as Salas gunned it in from right field, and they get the double play.
That makes contact. Outfielder trying to run that one down. Oh, what a snag. He got it. Give it to the center fielder, Mason Courtney.
The Cougars will tie this one up on a triple from Ryan Hutchinson. A 3 RBI day, Hutchinson. Helmets go flying, the Cougars are celebrating, and as this cat fight is over,
Hey, welcome back, Steve Davis Show. We got Gerard Pineda. Pineda. Well, I'm just, God,
Been called worse.
You know, you've been called worse. How can I embarrass myself like this? But Gerard, you know, big game this week. I mean, you're undefeated in your district. You lost 2 games for the year. Great success. Win one of the 2 and you win your district, and that's easier said than did because you're playing El Dorado, and El Dorado's hot.
They're playing well. You know, I got out to see them against the second game against Farmington, and you know they're a good group. You know, I think they just kind of hang on and keep themselves in games. You know, and then it's a rivalry game, so you never know what can happen when you got El Dorado and La Cueva facing off. So, yeah, a big weekend and just one game at a time. And, yeah, if we can take that first one, I'll feel much more at ease. And then, you know, second one, we'll run its course and get ready for the playoffs.
Then you have the selection seed. I mean, it's here. I mean, I was just looking at it like when Aaron told me to get Gerard on, I'm like, well, we got another week or whatever, and I'm like, no, this is crunch time right now.
Yeah, it's flying. You know, we've talked to a few coaches and kind of getting their feel on some things. And today's a big day, you know, because that Cleveland Rio Rancho game may have some effect on the seedings a little bit, and then. You know, but been talking to a few coaches about where they see people falling and what they see shaking out next week or the Sunday for the seeding show. Yeah, because it's fun time for us as coaches, and we're excited about getting going for the playoffs. But you know, like you said, it's flown by in the blink of an eye.
Well, I'm just saying, we just seem like, you know, it was summer, and then next thing you know, it's like see you at the basketball games and see you at the deal and see you. Next thing you know, we're right here sitting here in this chair.
Yeah.
I just like I was looking at the schedule is west side. The games are going to be played. I guess I'm getting away from myself. You got to play before if you make it to the state tournament. So
right.
But there's going to be 5 fields this year on the west side, and so all the baseball games will be on the.
When I looked at the NMA website for 5A at least, so you know we've got this weekend, and then that first round is at higher seeds. When you get to the quarterfinals, all 5A quarterfinals are at the Jennifer Reardon Sports Complex. And then for 5A, semifinals go to UNM on Friday, and then all the finals are at UNM for all classifications.
Yeah, like I said, I was just going through it. We're trying to – last year we that first round we covered, I think, 8 games or 9 games, and 6 were baseball and 2 were softball. And that was that first weekend. And then the second weekend, I think we did like, I don't know, softball, but we had like 35 games and you know, so I'm right there with you. I'm right there going like, all right, what's the next step?
Well, I feel bad for you and Aaron and Noah because you guys. I mean that from the basketball tournament to now the baseball tournament. You know, I don't know how you guys do that basketball tournament. Baseball's got be a little bit easier, although maybe not since it's in 3 days, but.
No, actually, it's not. It's actually harder because of the elements. It's not so much because the elements, the wind, and the facilities. You know, these are just my issues. I guess is at the basketball, the internets are more consistent. And so we're at different locations. I mean, we're still at 3 different locations in basketball, but we could be possibly because we have track and field going on that weekend. Right. So we have track and field going on that weekend. We have softball that's at Rio Rancho, and there's 2 or 3 states. Anyway, we're trying to. It was funny. I just spent an hour this morning trying to figure out what we could or what we can't do, and then we hear the complaints of. It's a good thing, though. You know, when I first started this, everybody's asking me, "Why are you here?"
Yeah.
And now is, "Why aren't you not here?"
No, it's awesome. The things that you guys have done for high school sports are amazing, and I know the kids get really excited about the games that get broadcast. And so, like I said, it's amazing. We didn't have anything like that when I was in high school. You were lucky to get one on the radio possibly. But, streaming has just been an amazing thing and been able to showcase the kids a little bit more. So thank you guys.
Well, let's take a little break, and we'll come back, and we'll start more talking about La Cueva baseball and talk about other teams that possibly you may be facing and teams that we need to watch out for.
Yeah, there's a few.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show with Gerard Pineda. See, I did good.
Good one.
It takes. I'm coachable. It takes a while. I mean, only been knowing you for 15 years or so, 20 years, and so it's. But hey, at least I got it right. So that's the main thing. But baseball is it's one of those things. For me, and for ProView, is that we cover basketball and it goes up to March. And as soon as March is done, when I look at the season and when I even think about baseball, or even get a thought process to think about baseball, because we do, while y'all are playing baseball, we did in 2 weeks we did 100 basketball games.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So and actually probably a little bit more over that month, but I look at it and it's the season's half over. I mean, it's almost we almost pick up when district starts.
Yeah, it's hard, and we have not had very many. In my opinion, it's hard to be a baseball guy because if your basketball team does well and you go to that final weekend in the pit, you miss like 4 or 5 games, and that's nearly a quarter of the baseball season. So I'd like to see and it's hard with the end of school and graduations and all, but if they would move the the baseball season back a little bit, want to give you a little bit of a break between possibly, but I think that would encourage a few more basketball, baseball guys. We have quite a few football, baseball guys, and those guys have done really well for us and been some of our best players. But I can't imagine that week you think you get a respite from after the basketball season and jump right into baseball.
So I got a funny story with that. So I'm at El Dorado. We're doing a game against Farmington, and I'm talking to Roy Sanchez before the game, and he had a game on Thursday, Friday, and I'm like, where's some of your players at? He goes, well, I'm waiting for them to finish the baseball game because they do. He lets them play. He played dual sports, and I go and I'm like, yeah, they're and sure enough, they had a baseball doubleheader that day. Their game was 6 o'clock or so, and sure enough, come running in with their baseball right from the baseball field.
I didn't realize that.
And I'm like, it's neat to see coaches share their especially this is a big time district game at that time. I mean, he's like, if he wins his next 2 games, he's playing for first place against La Cueva the next week, and I'm like, wow, Roy, things have changed in my lifetime.
I didn't realize that, and I think Coach Back, our head football coach and our athletic director, has always been very pro dual sports, and you see it with like Cam Dyer and our football guys and Mason Posa, Jackson Hicks and Luke Ryder and those guys. And so that's a big part of our philosophy at La Cueva High School. But the one that we haven't seen very much is at younger levels, some freshmen and sophomores have done basketball, baseball, but once they get to varsity, it's been a lot more difficult. So good for Roy.
But that was the first time I ever heard. I was like wondering, and sure enough, it was out of the corner of my eye. These guys, the game started and they were warming up and whatever. They'll be here. I go, Roy, what if it goes into extra innings, man? What are you going to do there?
That would have been the Steve Davis jinx.
That would have been. But it was funny too that they had the coaches. Football. He got double whammy this year because the football they had the week after. Football plays, and they have the All-Star game.
Oh, that's right.
Artesia. And I was talking to he was playing Carlsbad that night, and he says, two of my players were playing football. I go, who's the athletic director here, man? Don't you have any control of this going on?
Well, it's a unique experience for the kids, and good for Roy to let the kids, kids be kids, and that's. But I had not heard that about El Dorado.
Well, let's talk about the rest of the state. I mean, let's talk about the teams that I always think of Carlsbad, and they played in that the Rio Rancho tournament, and that was a tough tournament. You had Rio Rancho, you had Sandia, you had Carlsbad. I mean, you had some teams there. Yeah, no,
that was a really good test, and you talk about a state tournament atmosphere, and you throw in Goddard and Artesian Academy, and some of those top teams in 4A, and that was a good battle. You saw it. Sandia clips us, and then that championship game goes 9 innings. Our third place game with Carlsbad went 10 innings, and definitely. I mean, you mentioned them. Carlsbad's a team that people need to watch out for come state tournament. Coach Magaha has done a really good job down there. They got a couple guys on the mound that really, really compete, and their guys are scrappers and fighters, and they're going to be a tough out for somebody.
Well, I tell you, then Rio Rancho, under the circumstance, new head coach, under the circumstances like that, I mean, what a great job he's done.
Yeah, David's done a good job. It's been pretty seamless, it seems. We played them early. I think it was our second game of the season after they had gotten back from El Paso, and then got to see them a few times in their tournament, and it looks like from an outsider at least that they haven't really skipped a beat, and the continuity of coaching that they have, the coaching staff. I think Gino and Mike, they've all done a good job of letting the kids be kids and play baseball, and you see that in their product on the field.
Well, Gerard, hey, thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show. It went by quick. This was a quick show, and then hopefully I'll see you in about another month.
Hopefully. Pleasure's been mine. Thank you for having me.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.